Namaste and welcome to Dragonfly Kukri and Knives. In this video, I'm going to be doing a competition cut on this piece of wood, and if there's time, another piece of wood, of BSIs from various different kukri houses and production kukris that fall into roughly around the same weight and style. Some of them might be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. All of them will pretty much have either a 1/4 inch thick spine or bigger, like when we get into Himalayan imports and maybe GK&Co and Gurkha Kukri house, their spines will be a little bit bigger or wider, fatter. Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time setting this up. We're going to be doing various different kukri houses and various different production kukris. Now, some of the production kukris, I only have one, so we're going to be doing one for each of the companies that are being represented in this chopping test. The others, I'm going to have maybe 2 each of different kukri houses. So what I will do is try to alternate. One will be with a kukri house, another one will be with a production, until we run out of knives to test, and then whatever's remaining will be tested. Now what I'm going to try to do is do roughly about 20 cuts, because we're going to cut into this piece of wood. It is kind of a hard wood. It's been sitting out for a while. So I want to give a good representation of showing how deep the cuts will be. So I'm going to give it about 20 cuts per knife. This will burn up a lot of calories. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I will just name out what the company is, okay, or the kukri house is. Pretty much they'll fall within the blade length of between 9 inches to about 11 or 12 inches, depending upon the kukri. Like when we get into BK Becker and cold steel, they might be a little bit longer. But by all intents and purposes, it fit in within about the same weight. And but all of them have different blade geometries and everything, so some are going to perform a little better than others. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's not too long, but we got a lot of kukris to test. So let's proceed. The first ones I'm going to start with is the company that set the standard, and that's Himalayan imports. I'm going to be doing it with this BSI style kukri. It's the raw version, raw finish one. And here we go. This was a test cut for me. So we're going to go right near it, and we're going to go right here. Okay, that was 20 cuts with little taps to kind of get some of the debris out of the way. This is Himalayan Imports, the raw version of their BSI. Next is Himalayan Imports, and this is the high polish BSI. That follows after the 1950s to 1990s style with that rounded top. Right next to it. Okay, that was 20 cuts right there. Next, Gurkha Kukri house, and this is their raw finish butcher's kukri. Cuts with the butcher's kukri. Gurkha Kukri house. BSI. Modern day BSI. Twenty strikes. GK&Co Kukri house. This one is the 11-inch, what they called World War II Kukri, but it's in the same shape and size of the BSI of current day. Twenty strikes. I don't know what the name of this one is. GK&Co. I think it is Rocky Freedom. It's roughly about the same length, so it's about a 10-inch blade. Twenty strikes. KHHI, this is their BSI of the 1950s version, blackened, so it's raw finished. Twenty strikes. Sorry, I didn't alternate. So let's do K-bar. This is the 1249 K-bar Kukri machete, but it still has about a, I think it was about 5/16 or 5/32 of an inch spine on it. I lost count. I believe that is 20. Ontario, Kukri. Cuts. This does have a 1/4 inch stock. Condor tool and knives, the K-Tac Kukri. 20 cuts. Cold steel, Gurkha, Kukri house. Six. 20 cuts. May have been off one or two there. BK Becker, Reinhardt Kukri. That was 2 strikes. Put the lanyard around my hand here so it doesn't get in the way. Strikes. Kotang, Kukri Handicraft, Varun Borelli. I lost count. I think that was 20. Kotang Kukri House collaboration with Tim McLaughlin, me, and my design, the Traveler's Kukri. Going into a knot here. Now is into a knot. 20. Neem Tangi. I'm actually going to be trying a prototype of a newer BSI of the 1950s. We'll see how it does. This is a prototype. Strikes. Current 1950s BSI offered on my website, made by Neem Tangi. Right there. Tora blades. Their version of the BSI. I think he's calling it the 1950s or 1960s BSI. 20 strikes with Tora blades. Adesh blades. And this one is the MK1, but it is of a 10-inch version, so it is like the current BSI size range. This one does not have the it does not have the performance edge. This has the standard edge. Strikes with the standard edge. The 1950s version by Adesh blades, this is with the performance edge. I believe that was 20. Raju Borelli on my website. This is the lighter BSI with the hollow forge. This is the 1950s to 1990s BSI Raju Borelli. Strikes. The Royals Officer, which has roughly around the same length of blade. This is a Duchira Raju Borelli, offered on my website. 20 strikes. Windlass steel craft. This one is very similar to what's being offered at Atlantic Cutlery. This one is a little bit older, but it does have a nice sharp edge on it, so I thought it would be fun to test to see how it would hold up against the rest. Fox knives. FK&D. This is their like a performance Kukri. Now, I feel like forged with fire, it's not so much what the kukris do to the wood as what the wood does to the kukris. So I will be examining the edges of these blades after the cuts are done. This one is M-Tech USA Extreme. So this is a budget kukri. Again, I'm going to put the lanyard around so that way it doesn't get in the way. Alright, that concludes the cutting test onto this piece of wood for all the various different kukris. Now I'm going to examine the edges. Start off with the first ones that we did, which is Himalayan imports. This one did not suffer any damage along the cutting edge. This is the raw finish, BSI, by Himalayan imports. The other BSI, the polished BSI, by Himalayan imports. No edge damage whatsoever. GK&Co. The Iraqi Freedom. Did not receive any edge damage. The larger BSI style, called the World War II, did not receive any edge damage. Ex-Gurkha Kukri House. Standard BSI of current day did not receive any edge damage at all. Butcher's Kukri by ex-Gurkha Kukri House did not receive any edge damage whatsoever on the edge. KHHI, BSI of the 1950s raw version. No edge damage on the edge. India, BSI that is currently issued to the Gurkhas with the Indian units did not receive any edge damage. Barelli. This is the civilian MK3. Did not receive any edge damage whatsoever. Very nice. Barelli and my joint effort in creating a updated version of a World War I Kukri no edge damage on the edge. Adesh blades, the MK1, 10-inch blade. Standard grind, did not receive any edge damage whatsoever. This is the Adesh MK5 of the, 1950s era. This has a performance edge and did not experience any edge damage whatsoever. Very nice. Very light kukri, by the way. Tora blades. Their version of the BSI of 1950s, I'm sorry to say, experienced some edge damage. If you can see that right there, you got some slight chipping. Now this can be taken out, but it is the only blade so far that has received any damage cutting into that wood. Tora blades. Not what we would have expected. Raju Borelli with Dragonfly Kukri and knives, Royal Kukri, Duchira, did not receive any blade damage whatsoever on the edge. Also light kukri. Raju Borelli's and Dragonfly Kukri and knives, 1950s to 1990s, hollow forge light BSI, did not receive any edge damage. Now those are all the kukri houses. Let's see how the production's held up. Start off with the last one, which was the M-Tech USA Extreme. This is a stainless steel. Did not suffer any rolled edges or chips. And that's pretty good for stainless steel, because oftentimes the stainless steel that does hard impact will chip and crack on, or chip and roll on you. What I did with this, all the steps. K-bar. This classified as a machete, but a little bit thicker spine on it. Chopping area right here, no rolled edges. Held up really good. 1095 high carbon steel, CB, with a little bit more chromium in it. Hank Reinhardt, the BK K-bar, BK Becker. It's with K-bar also. This also has that same 1095 with the chromium in it. No rolled edges, no chips, held up very well. Now, take into consideration when we're talking about production kukris, we're talking about not only are the edge hardened, but the steel is tempered. So you would expect it to hold up pretty good. Cold steel. This is the ex-Gurkha Kukri 01 tool steel. No rolled edges, no chipping. Condor tool and knives. 1075 high carbon steel, convex edge. And no rolled edges, no chipping. Ontario knives, they're Kukri. 1095 high carbon steel. No rolled edges, no chipping.
Wait there. Are we leaving?
Fox knives. Again, no rolled edges, no chipping. I believe that is the last of the knives. Now with my closing comments about what just happened in this test. There is no personal interest in this. I mean, I would like to see my blades perform as good, if not better, as everybody else's, but as you can see, some chopped deeper, was able to penetrate this wood a lot better than others. I'm going against the grain of a very hard wood. So like they say in Forge and Fire, it's not what the knives so much did to the wood, but it is what the wood did to the knives. I only had one knife failure, which really shocked me. I did not expect it. And that was with the Tora blades. It is a lighter Kukri. It's heavier than the one that Raju and I do and Adesh does. But this one did suffer rolled edges, a little bit of chipping. Now I can correct that by using my steel or taking it back to my workshop. But that lets you know that the hardening on this edge was a little bit different. So you guys be the judge. But I was really surprised by this. Another thing that I wanted to mention about this particular one, and I think this is probably the failure on the part of Tora blades in their quality control, is that when you're having it shipped directly from Nepal to the customer, you don't get a chance to put your eyes on it and check it for yourself. This one supposedly was tested with a nail. And if it was tested with this nail, then it wouldn't have chipped where it did, because this is not steel, but it chipped. So there was a little question about the quality control on this one. Another thing is with the scabbard. Remember I talked about things not falling out. A lot of theirs do hold very well, but because of the lack of quality checks before they're shipped, they didn't check to make sure that these were good fits and that they would fit the scabbard really well. So if I was out in the field and I was running with this, these would be gone. I would no longer have them to use. Now, he always puts a really excellent secondary knife. Now, I'm sure this is not a bag on Simon time, and it's not a bag on Tora blades. I really did expect it to perform much better than it did. But the failure is there, and it's obvious, and you all seen it. You saw what I did, and you saw the punishment it took and where it failed. So again, you guys be the judge. All the production blades, again, they're tempered. Some of them are made out of stainless steel, some high carbon. They all performed extremely well. They cut the wood extremely well. So did all the other Kukri houses. Some of them cut deeper, some didn't. But if you had to cut through this wood going against the grain like this, any one of those will eventually get through this material and you'll do it. Some will expend more energy than others. That's all. But they all will hold up very, very well. And this is from a budget all the way up to the high end, and that goes for production as well. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope you found it interesting. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. And also, please, any comments or questions or any concerns, please message me on Blue Dragonfly Training Post on my Facebook page. And like and subscribe on my YouTube. And please, by all means, visit my website at dragonflykukriandknives.com. Namaste. Thank you very much for watching. God bless and happy holidays.